For this show, writer Rick Riordan had planned to enter a semi-retirement and pursue his PhD when Disney approached him about the series. This series, in conjunction with the proposed Netflix adaptation of the Kane Chronicles, made him reconsider and ultimately delayed his plans of retirement. There's a lot of things about the show I really liked. There's only a couple minor things I disliked, but I'm going to get right into the things I liked about this show first. My biggest thing about the show that I loved the most was that it actually stuck to the books extremely well, way better than movies did, but it also did a really great job of sticking to Greek mythology. When I was in high school, I took a Greek mythology class just because I found Greek mythology to be super entertaining, super intriguing, but the show was basically the redemption that the Percy Jackson books needed. There are a lot of great characters in this show. I'd say one of my favorite characters actually turned out to be Ares. I don't remember exactly who played him. He looks super familiar. I think the guy who played him was a wrestler, but I really liked Ares in this show a lot. I think he just brought that attitude that Ares would have to the screen super well. And I actually hope to see a lot of him in the future seasons. I also really enjoyed Lance Reddick's version of Zeus. Unfortunately, Lance Reddick passed away very shortly after they filmed all this. Him playing Zeus was just awesome. I mean, Lance was always a phenomenal actor. He always just brought a really great persona and a really great presence to the screen. And just having him be short-lived as Zeus was definitely a tragedy when it came to this show. I'd say my favorite episode out of this entire show was probably episode 3. It was when Percy, Grover, and Annabeth traveled to the garden and they came across Medusa, and Percy had this long conversation with Medusa. And really, the way Medusa was done in the show was perfect. I mean, exactly how she should have been done originally, and the scene went super long. It went a lot longer than it did in the movie. The interaction between Percy and Medusa was super short, but just to see like how the showrunners just extended the conversation that Percy and Medusa had, and it gave Medusa a lot more time to explain to Percy her backstory, and she also stayed true to the mythology of her character, which is one of my favorite parts. I get she's a bad guy, but I think she's one of the coolest Greek mythology characters out there. I just absolutely loved every moment of Medusa on screen because it was exactly what I was hoping for. I'd say really the only problem I had with this show is I felt like Annabeth's character could have been a lot better. I honestly preferred the Annabeth from the movies over this Annabeth. She just didn't have that fiery Annabeth attitude that Alexandra Daddario in the movies had. I was just wanting more of that. She kind of was just like, it was like repressed. Her character portrayal just wasn't as strong as I was hoping it to be, but really that's the only negative thing I have to say about the show. I look forward to the new episodes every single week just because they always kept my interest. They were so well done. The pacing was awesome. I'm just incredibly pleased with this show, and if you haven't seen this show yet, I highly recommend that you do, especially if you read the books, because let me tell you, it does the books justice. And if you were mad about how the Percy Jackson movies went, this show is definitely for you. So for season 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 Mudflaps. And remember to leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below who's your favorite character from Greek mythology. See you next time.